Blog Talk Radio.
Why isn't it coming on play?
Good evening. Welcome, everyone. I think we are live, and I am coming to you, Michael Edley, psychic medium from the Jersey Shore, and my co-host, Mary Amy. How are you doing, Mary?
Hello. I was waiting for our little intro to come on, and I don't know. I must not have hit the button properly. So we will just say it. Hi, I'm Mary Amy, coming live from New York. I'm an intuitive wisdom coach.
And I think that might be Spirit's way of telling us maybe we need to come up with like a musical, cool, over-the-top intro. I think that's what the universe is telling us.
I think it is too, because you know what? You are a musical extraordinaire. In fact, weren't you at a concert last night and you just said you lost your voice?
No, not a concert. I was actually there was a Reiki and readings event that I had here at the Jersey Shore. It was a great night, a long night. You know, I was going for probably 4.5 hours last night. Some phenomenal messages from Spirit came through. You know, it was a sold-out event. You know, I was very blessed to be with, you know, a great group of people. And it was just, you know, a fabulous night with the full moon. I could say the energy was through the roof. It was, you know, and when I tell you that lights were flickering, there was electric going wild. I mean, that's probably understating it. But, yeah, it was a great night. So if my voice sounds a little raspy tonight, I apologize, but I was going for about 4.5 hours last night.
Wow. Well, you know, I just want to mention, so last week we had some technology issues. And when we finished up the show last Friday, you immediately received some kind of contact from Wendy, and Wendy had been on hold, and I disconnected Wendy, so she never got a reading. Green room, and we'll bring her on in a second for a little mini reading. And it reminds me how when you and I seem to come together, there seems to be a frequency, energy, mishap. And that's common, like you just said, lights flickering. In fact, I remember I did a interview with you, and I think it was 2016, and I had a cameraman there, and all of a sudden, something flew off the table, knocked over another psychic's statue, fell on the floor, broke in half,
remember that.
and then I had to order her one off of some website that I couldn't even find it. I had to research it. But together, we seem to have made it on here tonight wonderfully, and I'm going to get on to what exactly tonight's episode is about. Well, our subject tonight is healing humanity, and I'm going to describe that a bit. And we have a wonderful show. Not only do we start off with a psychic reading with Wendy, later in the show, we're going to have one of our callers, who we have right now, 13 callers waiting. One of them is going to come on live, and you're going to, again, give a reading, and I'll give my input. We're also going to talk about the collapse of old Earth, past lives, personal healing, and how our future five-dimensional new Earth, Terra, is coming forward. I'm going to do a heart space visualization, and exciting, we have Shayna Blackmar coming live from Texas. She's a certified Reiki master, sound healer, and ascension guide. She's going to do a demonstration sound healing, so you'll be able to sit back comfortably and receive some higher dimensional energy, and it will raise your frequency, raise your vibration to a higher awareness, a higher consciousness, and it will help heal you. What do you think of that, Michael?
I love that. And especially being a musician like I am, but, you know, like I said, last night was not a musical event. It was a mediumship event, which was fabulous. But I love music. I am a musician myself, and I do have my own sound meditation and healing CD coming out. So I'm going to have a lot to talk about. And I can't wait to have some discussions on sound healing and frequencies and all the good stuff we're going to be getting into tonight.
I know that you had mentioned to me that you had someone that was going to take some professional photos of us. And then when I come down there, we will come up with some kind of little musical jingle, and we'll have that on our intro, and we will retire this little intro that I can't seem to even turn on.
And I think that was Spirit's way of confirming that, yes, we need to do that. So, yes, in the next several episodes, we will have a fabulous intro for you with music and professionally produced by me.
Perfect. Wonderful. Okay, so without further ado, we will bring on Wendy so you can give her a reading. Wait, hold on. Let me find her. Here she is. Let's go. So this is Wendy Susan, and she's coming from Gold River. And here she is, Michael.
Gold River. What is up, Wendy? How are you? Now, Gold River, where is that located?
Not on yet. The West Coast? Wendy, are you there?
Oh, yes, I am. Thank you.
What is up, Wendy? How are you? I have to say, I appreciate that email. It was a lovely email that you sent us. And how you resonated with what we were saying in the show. And the crazy thing is when you start working with energy, when you have, psychic energy, the mediumship energy, sometimes wacky electronic stuff can happen. And, so Mary didn't purposely hang up on you.
I completely understand, Michael. I truly do. And computers and other devices, I'm quite spiritual myself. So I just love your show. I think both of you are fabulous.
Thank you. Appreciate that. So you are the official first reading of our second episode. So is there a specific question or an area of life or something, being a medium, but I'm also, very psychic, so that's, I think Mary Amy was saying you had a specific question or something you wanted me to try to gain a little insight and give you some my aspect on what your question was. And what is that exactly?
Yes, actually there's two. One of them is I would like to become a first-time home buyer, even though I'm 72 and a half. And I found a wonderful mortgage broker, a very honest man named Ian. And I found a wonderful real estate lady named Laura, and they're Christian like me. So will I be successful in finding either a condominium or a townhouse or a house? And it's funny you said Gold River because that's an area that I've been looking at.
Okay, so now where are you on? You're the West Coast, California. Is that where it is, or where exactly are you coming from?
I am very close to the capital of Sacramento, California.
Excellent. Okay.
I technically live in Rancho Cordova.
Nice. Okay. I've never been to California, but my family was actually from California, came from the West Coast out to the East Coast, but I'd love to get out there someday.
Yes. Wonderful.
But so we have question number one about, the real estate aspect and the home purchasing, and then what is question two?
Well, I require home health care, and finding a good caregiver is very important. I've had a caregiver named Jamie for quite a while, but then I discovered something that she was doing, and I didn't feel that we could continue, but then we talked and we continued. And then today, recently, there was something else that was discovered. So I called the agency, and I did not make a complaint about Jamie. I just said, I am requesting a break, and I also sent a text to Jamie letting her know that I did not make a complaint about her, but I have reasons that would not be appropriate to put this on the air.
No, that's fine.
Will I get a caregiver? Will this agency help me to find a caregiver? Pam has assisted me many times. She's very nice. She's a grandmother. And so will I find will I stay with the same agency, and will they help me to get a caregiver that'll match up for a long time, years and years and years?
Okay, so the interesting thing, I wanted to hear both questions because I do feel on an energy level, me reading energy, being a psychic medium, I actually do feel like they are intertwined in a certain aspect of that. Now, for you, being a Christian, I have a very dominant, heavy background, as being raised, from a Hungarian gypsy grandparent, and also my other side, a devout Catholic grandmother. So, I had the blend of spirituality and religion. And in that, I'm wondering what your aspect of trying to tap in and tune into your psychic abilities or meditation or, what kind of experience do you have with that? Because this is leading to something. So I'm just curious what your background is in trying to meditate or trying to work with any type of psychic abilities and gain insight and guidance from
Well, being a good person is of huge importance to me. And I have received messages that I have consciously turned off because I didn't feel comfortable with that. And but I am very intuitive.
Okay.
And
I get that's fine. That's all. I just because what I get because basically as I hear your voice, I'm connecting to your energy, and I hear a lot of hesitation in you to truly tap into your internal intuition and your psychic resources. Now, let me tell you, I know, being raised Christian or Catholic or anything that's based around a church structure, I know a lot of what we do has been frowned on through the years. And I can tell you, I'm going to give you a little bit of my background. So, and a little bit of just my Christian background. So 400 AD, I can tell you in the Roman Empire, around 400 AD, when they took control of the Catholic Church, everything that was prior to that, and I can tell you the ancient mystical supernatural aspects of Jesus, all that was kind of pushed aside, and the power and control that people had using their intuition, using their psychic guidance, using prophetic word, gift of knowledge, healing, that was all, in a sense, taken away from us. And it was used, what I feel to be a source of control and in a sense, manipulation. Now, I want to just share a little bit of my background. And as we get in, and, for all our other listeners, each week you're going to find out a little bit more about us. But over the last several years, I've been working within, the Christian communities and within the Catholic Church to get back and renew the ancient aspects of the supernatural, mystical ministry that Jesus had led when he was here. Now, just think, when Jesus walked the earth, at the time, he was New Age. No one knew what he was doing. Look at what happened. He was crucified, So the church took that and started to use it as control. They saw the power that people could have with that and our own internal guidance and our insight. And I think that threatened the power structure, the kings, the queens, the monarchy, the hierarchy that was going on in society. So they made it look evil. They made it look bad. I can tell you, Jesus was the most magnificent psychic medium healer that ever walked on the earth. When we look back and see what he did was mystical. It was supernatural. What he did is no different than what I'm doing today. And there was just this deep calling for me to go back to the church. And when I saw some of this renewed, just this renewal of the mind, this Eucharistic revival happening, and there were aspects of the church opening back up to the mystical aspects of Jesus and his supernatural mystical powers. And that was prophetic word. That's mediumship, psychic guidance. It's spoken in different terms. I can tell you what we're doing, and your God-given right is to tap into these abilities and use them for your highest and best. And I can tell you, I am currently, even as a medium and as, a psychic, I'm using these abilities for the highest and best good, and I'm also using them inside the church. And the church is starting to awaken to this mystical, supernatural experience that occurs in all of us. And so don't think this is negative. Don't think this is evil. And if you truly look into ancient scripture, if you look at the Old Testament, even the New Testament, it's all throughout. And I don't have every verse in front of me, but I can tell you, if you look into Ecclesiastes, Ephesians, it's all over. It is all throughout. And I can tell you some of the world's most renowned Christian scholars are now agreeing that what is going on with prophetic word, gift of knowledge, healing, everything that's happening inside this energetic community that encompasses many different aspects, it is all the work of the ancient supernatural workings of Jesus. I can tell you, so don't think you're doing anything wrong. So my concern is I really think that you're holding back on a lot of gifts that you have. And I think a lot of what you're asking me, you actually could pull those answers for yourself. I truly believe, I can sense it. I hear it in you. We all have this God-given ability. And what I'm going to tell you first off is it's going to be very, very important for you to start quieting your mind. And however you can do this, whether it's with music, through breath. I mean, if you want to read scripture, ask the Holy Spirit, Holy Spirit, what are you putting on my heart? What are you showing me? Quietly sit. These images that come to you, these thoughts that come in between your own thoughts, listen to them. Don't disregard them. Don't fear them, because that is the divine presence working through you for your highest good. And I feel terrible, that in a sense that the human consciousness and this awareness has been taken away from many, many people because of structured, religion. And it's very sad. And being raised in that religious structure myself and knowing the aspects, I'm just very fortunate that I had a very charismatic grandmother that talked about the saints, that talked about the angels, that talked about that guidance of the Holy Spirit transcending through you. So the first thing I'm going to tell you is, you don't need, I'm honored that you're asking me for to answer these questions for you. But for most people and anyone else listening out there, we all have these abilities. Not everyone wants to be a psychic medium and read for other people, but utilizing these gifts for your own well-being to determine if someone's lying to you, if something's being misrepresented, if something is being misconstrued, you absolutely can pick up on that. You can actually be guided to the truth, and it's all within. So the first thing I'm going to tell you before I go into any of this, and I know I'm getting a little long-winded here, but you have this ability, and you truly need to start utilizing it. And I'm going to say first, just if you sit with scripture, you sit with a Bible, or you sit with music or your breath work, listen to what comes and don't disregard it, whether it's a vision, whether it's a number, whether it's a letter, a word, whatever it may be, journal it, write it down, record it, because it's going to be very integral to what can uplift and help you through this transition, because there is a large transition going on for you. So now, with that being said, what I truly feel you need to do is you need to take a step back, and we truly need to look at people's actions and not their words. Words can be very deceptive. Anyone can say anything. We need to look at the truth. We need to look at the actions that are being done, being taken. That is where the truth lies. So if something deceptive or manipulative or something that is not in your highest good is being negatively done to you, no matter what that person says, you need to take a step back and truly look at the actions, and you need to sit with that gut instinct, that feeling, and see where that's taking you. That is your internal guidance, your psychic abilities, the divine presence within that is guiding you to your highest and best. And just by your voice and the energy I picked up from you, I don't feel like you feel comfortable and trusting with the people that are around you right now. And I'm not saying everyone, I'm just saying particularly caretakers and people that have your health and your well-being at stake. I truly think in that instance, if it's once, what do they say? Once, shame on you, twice, shame on me. I truly think that's your scenario here. You need to take a step back, and you really need to look at the big picture, because maybe it hasn't been something severe or something that completely, had negative consequences. Maybe it was something very minor, but those very minor things can slowly build. And when they turn into something very large, you're going to just kick yourself in the butt, because I know your internal guidance. I know that gut instinct, that intuition has kicked in on multiple occasions. And I think it's told you, hey, you got to look at this a little differently. Or, sometimes we get comfortable in a situation. And if you're, I know it may be difficult trying to find other caretakers, finding someone you can trust, finding someone that you can truly feel comfortable in them being a part of your well-being. I get that completely. But, as difficult of a task that this can be, I do think you need to step back. You need to look at the actions of this person, not their words, not their I'm sorry. And you truly need to see how, if something more drastic or more catastrophic is done against you, how that could negatively affect you. And I think you're in a position right now where you can take action that can eliminate the possibility of something more catastrophic happening with your well-being and your care, or, you know, theft, or, I mean, there's a number of things around this. And unfortunately, we don't have a ton of time to get into all of it. But I think first, I do think so. And I'm going to go back and forth a little bit. So with the property, I do think for stability for you, I do think the possibility of finding, you know, a location and, you know, space that is yours, you know, that you can, you know, live out your life in, it would definitely be a blessing. I see a lot of positivity around that. But the problem I'm seeing in the big picture of things, I feel like the circumstances around you right now are very unstable, and purchasing a house, looking for a, you know, a condo, whatever it may be, going into that in itself can be very, very stressful. If you don't have a solid foundation around you right now of your caretaker, you know, someone that can look after your well-being, I mean, this can compound. And I hate to say, but what I see around this is that can trickle down into, you know, causing additional, like, health problems, neglected care, stress, anxiety. So I do think you need to be very cautious going into this. I think the aspect of you having, you know, a location, a home that's yours, very beneficial. I think that'll give you stability that will overall help in every area of your life. But I do think you need to look at the... I'm sorry, what's that?
The show you were saying Gold River, and that's the area that I'm looking at to live in. And I've been through a process where I talked to some realtors and brokers, and I do feel that Ian, my mortgage broker, and Laura, my realtor, are perfect for me. And so hopefully the right place will be purchased within the next few months. That would be wonderful. And that's really what I was asking.
I do think there's a lot of good around that. There's a lot of benefit. I see a lot of positive energy around that for you. My concerns more so are, you know, the instability around your well-being and the caretaker and those aspects. So I do think you need to truly just sit in your own space, no distractions. And, you know, with the Christian background, ask, you know, the Father, Son, Holy Spirit, ask the divine presence of the Holy Spirit to show you or guide you or give you a word, you know, and start building on that. You know, it may start very slowly. You know, the first time or second time you do it, you may not get anything. But I truly think your intuition will guide you, and you're going to know. You're going to know the right person, care of you, whether you're interviewing them or, you know, divine intervention, putting the right person at the right time in front of you. I think you can manifest that. So with that, I'll hand this off to Mary Amy. And what are you picking up around this, Mary Amy?
Okay, can you hear me right now?
I can, yes.
Okay, so funny thing is, again, my technology, so my Wi-Fi went out, so I had to call in. So now I'm not on. I said,
well, you sound fine, so you're good.
So I'm doing it via my iPhone. Well, first of all, I would like to comment on what you were referring to earlier when you were talking about the belief system that we've had and the church. And I did myself actually feel uncomfortable at first, like maybe I'm receiving from Wendy, that she felt uncomfortable with receiving any information because it's kind of looked down upon. And so at first when I was going back to when I originally decided to make this a career choice, being an intuitive, I too felt uncomfortable because I thought that it was a conflict with the church. So I had to really address that within myself and say, is this okay for me to do? I don't think I'm harming anyone. I'm just really trying to be of aid and guidance. So if I receive information, part of this and receiving more is acceptance, is self-confidence, is a willingness to be open. And that's what I'm going to share with you in regard to that, Wendy, is that it's okay, because if it comes naturally, which all of us have these gifts. In fact, I have spoken about how I had done videos for a Roku station, a Roku channel, about the basics of telepathy. And we have natural abilities and talents within us, and we should accept all of that. So I'll say that right there. In regard to that, I will say that you might receive premonition dreams, and that's the start of it. You might connect with spirit. You might become a medium, a channeler. Whatever the distance you would like to go with this, maybe you just want to keep it to yourself, and that's just fine. About your home, Wendy, and about you, I guess you said you're waiting to find out. Am I correct in that? Because I kind of got disconnected from the phone call. You're waiting to find out about whether or not you can in fact have a home.
I was telling Michael that I talked to several realtors and brokers, and I believe that I have the perfect mortgage broker named Ian and the perfect realtor named Laura to help me. So I'm very secure in that. And I'm not afraid of my psychic abilities. Actually, I'm very intuitive, and Michael's right. I do sense a lot of things. So really my concerns were I know I have the right broker and realtor, so is this going to manifest within the next 3 months or so? And it's amazing that Michael said something about Gold River at the beginning of the show, because that's an area very close to where I live that I would love to go to. And then the other concern was, with enormous kindness, I called the caregiver agency, and I explained that the caregiver that I've been receiving care from and I are going to take a break, and that I need to find a new one. And I did not complain about her, but I want somebody permanent, because it's not good to keep changing. So those are my two major questions: whether or not I was going to purchase a home within the next 3 months, maybe, and will I get a permanent caregiver from the same agency? The agency's name starts with APEX, and they were trying to call me back while we were talking. They'll leave a message, but I've
Maybe
done
that's
nothing
a sign.
wrong.
That might be a
In fact,
sign.
I've been unusually kind.
No, absolutely. So what I'd like to leave you with, a couple things. So I do, the psychic awareness that you have, you just open that up. Let it, they say let go and let it flow. That's absolutely what you need to do. With the belief system that has been built upon, the Christian background and, the looking down upon that you had talked about, not feeling comfortable with that. What I want you to do, do you have access to like YouTube or, the internet? You can Google somebody?
Absolutely.
Okay, so I want you to look up Dr. Mary Healy. Now, she is one of the world's most theological scholars. The Catholic Church, I could tell you, relies on her information for much of what they do. Listen to what she's talking about: prophetic word, gift of knowledge, healing. Dr. Mary Healy. You'll be amazed at the insight and guidance that's awakening inside the church system, inside the Catholic.
Healy?
Healy, I believe. Yes, Dr. Mary Healy. And she's like the world's leading theological scholar. And I can tell you she is totally behind everything that we're doing here. It may just have a different word or name to it, but there's absolutely an awakening happening, and it's also happening within the church. And this is not something, and let me tell you, this is what the original ancient mystical supernatural church was built upon. It's just been misconstrued, controlled, and manipulated. Now it's awakening, and it's unfolding again, and it's the most beautiful thing that's occurring right now within the church system.
Wonderful. Okay. Well, thank you.
Okay.
And I am praying that my tinnitus, I find something to permanently help me to cope with it and hopefully heal me from it.
Absolutely. And we're going to leave you with the blessings of love and light, and, just tune in, let go and let God. That's absolutely what you need to do.
Before you hang up, Wendy, I just want to say one comment. There's something that I received in regard to you, and it has something to do with a house that you lived in, and I would like you to take a moment after you get off the phone with us and ask yourself if there was something that happened to you. Well, I'm seeing something in relation to one of the homes that you lived in, and it was from your past, and there was some kind of sour note in relation to it, and it wasn't solved. To go, I don't want to. I'll kind of think about it, or not think about it, but I'll tune into it, and then I'll send you a message because I do have your phone number. Okay.
Oh, that would be wonderful. I would appreciate that. Thank you both.
Oh, all right. Well, have a great evening.
All right. Thank you so much for calling in, Wendy. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye-bye. Okay, so let's get on to healing humanity. Are you there, Michael?
Oh yeah, I'm here.
Okay. So healing humanity is a process. The human race is undergoing ways to become whole and free from damage. So let's finally clear away repeated beliefs and we depend on through pressure from society. These energetic patterns must be released at cell level. So notice the systems falling down around us. The moment is now to allow our intuition to lead us to truth and distinguish falsities. The last days are upon us. So remember, timeline prophecy says the second coming, tribulation, period before peace on earth, the golden age. Once we turn inward, realize humanity's rejection of divine love, the catastrophic of lawlessness, lack of forgiveness and mercy. Further, the wars, earthquakes, massive deception, and false hope. And what do? Do you want love, angelic beings for guidance and messages, or beasts for pain and suffering? As old Earth 3D breaks down, we're removing the past within your heart and replace it with positive energy and love. Our brainwaves can be manipulated to specific thought forms. In the moment, release the past, accept love, your creator in this evolution of timeline. So let's raise your vibrational frequency to a higher awareness and consciousness as a being of light, highly advanced, able to see and feel and know beauty, love, hope, and nature. Energy is with all things. Let's focus on nature seeing into the blue water, sky, flowers, trees, wind. It's a complex, powerful strength that lies in connecting to the elements. So what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to tune into your chakras, specifically your root chakra at the base of your spine. And let's imagine reaching deep into the earth. The earth has a flow, and ignite and tune into the flow. So listen to the aspects of nature such as the light of the sun, and realize your own heart. We are upon the dawn of the day, and we become light as the sun rises from night to day, and the sky becomes brighter. So truth enlightens us, ourselves, our inner world, and outside world, our physical bodies. The New Earth Terra timeline incorporates our spirit with mind and body, which is long misunderstood and forgotten, a spiritual awakening for humanity, of shedding the old version of you, self, and consciousness rises up, an inner birth and discovery. So who are you really? So let's connect to spirit and open our powers and abilities. You still there, Michael?
I am. That was beautiful.
Okay. So, Michael, do you have any comments on what I just said? And are you open to telling us something that you sense about this healing of humanity and the process that we're going through?
Well, first off, I think what people need to understand, I think there's this misconception that like this new earth, this new humanity, this 5D consciousness is literally our physical body transferring onto like another planet or something. I think what people need to understand is this is a shift in consciousness. It's a shift in awareness. It's, it's very internal. This is an internal process that we experience. So, and a lot of what's going on and the stability going into this is our belief systems. So I mean, we really need to look at our belief systems. We need to expand our awareness, our consciousness, and it's a process that we're all going through. It's whether people are going to actively engage in trying to bring out the highest and best in this process, or they're going to fight it, you know? And I mean, it's just one of those things that's truly an inner journey, and it's truly something that we're all going to go on. But, you know, there's many different aspects to this. And I think, you know, there's so much of it that, I mean, that in itself can take up a whole episode. But, you know, I think that's the thing. The first step in this, it's a shift in awareness, a shift in consciousness. It's looking at and destroying old belief systems that are not of our highest and best. You know, there's a lot to that, you know, and I would say that's the fundamental foundation of it. And that's the start of the process and the shift that'll occur. It's breaking down old belief systems, learning to harness and control emotions, you know, and I mean, I'm looking at the base, very fundamental aspects of this, not even going into, you know, different aspects of healing, working with your energy, psychic abilities, you know, working with the chakra system, working with the auric field. I mean, it's a multifaceted process, and the belief system, working and harnessing our emotions, you know, that is the shift and the basis that initially needs to occur with this. Are you there, Mary Amy?
Hey, so I got back on, and I just wanted to make sure that there wasn't some kind of echo going on, because so I'm talking directly into my phone, but I can hear you. I agree with you. I realize that myself, I'm going through a lot of changes. And I've shared with you that I discovered really since when I was a small child, after I had a near-death experience, that I was touched by angels, and I think I was on my way of passing over, but I didn't. And so I had this very serene part of me that was connected to a higher spirit, God source. I believed in angels since I was like, I can't even remember when I didn't. And so I definitely had some kind of spiritual awakening, and then it came forward more of me back when you and I met, more and more and more, and the more I kept diving in. With others out there, I believe that on a whole humanity is healing. And I was interested in making this a topic because I sense that this is something that on the whole earth is going through, and the earth is healing too. The elements are healing, the water's healing, the nature's healing, and I think at the same time that the earth is healing, we are healing, and we are together, you and I and some others that are a little bit more aware are bringing more light. And do you understand what I'm trying to?
Absolutely, yeah, and there is a cohesion. You know, there's absolutely a cohesion between the physical, the spiritual, and all aspects in between. You know, and absolutely there's a relationship to everything in nature. You know, coming from the plants, the trees, you know, the elements. You know, it's all interconnected. And what I want to touch base on in regard to this, and I think, you know, Wendy's a perfect example. We're talking about this ascension. I hope Wendy's still listening in, because I think she can take a lot from this. But the first thing is letting go any limiting beliefs that we are not given these gifts and these abilities, you know, or they're held from us, or, you know, there's something negative to touching and, you know, going internal into this psychic awareness, or that, you know, this energy field, and working with it. It truly is part of our human nature. And the first thing is dispelling any of these negative beliefs around it. This is truly our divine nature. So the first thing, you know, we have to eliminate those self-limiting beliefs. You know, if we're uncertain that we should or should not be doing this, I mean, right there's a block, you know, and this is the fundamental, you know, foundation of what we're building upon. So if your belief system is not in check, and you have, you know, these limiting beliefs that I shouldn't be doing this, or, you know, what I'm doing, you know, is looked upon, you know, negatively, or, you know, am I doing something bad or evil. I mean, that just does not put you in the right state of mind. And what we truly need to understand, and we hear this a lot, is that, we are a spiritual being having a human existence. And that is what it is. And we need to tap into our spiritual nature. Yeah, I mean, that's the fundamental aspect of it.
Yeah, I agree with everything you just said, because it's also about expressing yourself. I'm going to mention chakras in a minute, because Shayna is actually a Reiki master. And I know when we limit ourselves in any capacity, we are stifling ourselves, we are blocking ourselves, and that comes from our heart, that comes from us speaking, that comes from our crown chakra, our intuition, our third eye chakra, and all of this together has to be open and willing to accept whatever is out there, inner world, outer world. And I think that communicating your truth is what really matters about healing, because a lot of us have been in a place where we didn't feel safe to share our truth, express ourselves, and we are now able to do that. I think that the world is changing, where we're able to more or less say what we really think and believe.
Yeah, there absolutely is an awakening happening. I mean, no doubt about it. I mean, and you're even seeing that. Like I was talking, to Wendy about the awakening that's happening in these very structured church systems. I mean, if you're seeing an awakening there, I mean, you're seeing it everywhere. And I'm, every aspect of life, every aspect of this world is shifting, it's changing, and we can absolutely implement a beautiful awareness and awakening into this new world. It's a process, and it's not going to happen overnight, but if we all work together in conjunction to try to bring in this beautiful energetic transition, amazing things are going to happen. An amazing shift is going to happen. How could it not? But it is a process.
I agree with
it
you.
is a process.
Yes. Okay. Before we bring on Shayna, let's just mention anything upcoming that you would like to speak about in relation to your services, or anything you would like to tell us.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm Michael Edley, psychic medium. I do personal readings, I do galleries, I do group readings. Your best way to reach me is either michaeledley.com. Go to my website. You can message me. You can send me an email. Or if you're on Facebook, you can go to Eye of the Spirits with Michael Edley, and you can kind of follow whatever I'm doing. I post on there every day. I'm updating all my events. Whatever I'm doing, it's going to be on there. So Eye of the Spirits with Michael Edley, or michaeledley.com. And then over the next several weeks, we are fine-tuning, mastering, and finishing the production of Divine Journey of a Mystic Soul. And that is my CD, my album. It combines binaural beats, hemisync, different healing frequencies, a lot of stuff that we're going to be speaking about later. It's a beautiful, beautiful meditation tape, album, CD, whatever you want to call it. Stream it. I'm hoping I'm going to have it on every platform, but over the next several weeks, I'll be filling everyone in a little bit more about that, and hopefully we'll even be playing a little bit of it, in some of the upcoming episodes.
I'm excited to hear that. I'm really excited. Thank you for sharing that. I have spoken about my dream journal, which you can find on Amazon, and it's called My Personal Diary of Messages, Signs, and Symbols to Guide You. So a dream journal is essential to discovering more and more about your inner world. And as you allow some of your clairsenses to come forward, maybe it's your clairsubstance, your feeling, your clairaudience, your hearing, your clairvoyance, your seeing, you will become able to, or maybe you already are, and you have been open to your abilities, you will be able to receive some kind of premonitions while you're sleeping and answers to questions that you have while you're awake, or maybe your spirit, your soul is guiding you. So a dream journal is all about our dreams guiding us in directions we should move towards, maybe a personal message you will receive while sleeping. So I suggest to pay attention to dates, details, and advice. Also, you can find me on a Roku channel, Awaken, and it's under Spark Light. And my social media, I have a YouTube channel, and I do live videos, and I talk about some conspiracy theories and sci-fi, if you want to call it sci-fi, and we do psychic phenomenon, and you can reach me at Mary Amy Official.
Before we introduce her, I just have to put in a little tidbit of cool information. So those of you that don't know, I am a scientific research medium. One thing the scientific community, speaking about your dream journal and dreamlike states, is around 9 hertz. So when we're somewhere from the theta go in the alpha state of a dreamlike state, they're finding that is where a lot of the sweet spot is for mediumship, for psychic awareness, for things coming to you in dreams. So I think when a lot of people talk about their loved ones coming to them in a dreamlike state, it's because that 9 hertz frequency is the sweet spot for mediumship. So that is when your loved ones are going to come to you, and they're going to be able to connect when that right brain is shut down, the analytical, processing, thinking mind, and we're more in that expansive, creative aspect of the mind. So just a little tidbit there.
You're amazing. Okay, so let's bring on Shayna. Let me tell you a little bit about Shayna. She is a certified Reiki master, sound healer, intuitive healer, ascension guide. And a Reiki master, I don't know if you know anything about your chakras. They're spinning wheels of energy in the human body. Reiki is the Japanese form of energy healing. It's known for universal life force energy. And Reiki is transferred from practitioners' palms to clients, 7 chakras. So benefits of Reiki are balancing your energy, relaxation. It relieves anxiety, pain, and depression. Now, if you know anything about the chakras, we have 7 chakras inside of our body and 5 outside. So it starts with the base. I'm just giving you this information so you have a little bit of knowledge about what she's referring to. So your root chakra is the base of your spine. It represents stability and grounding. Your sacral chakra is below your belly button. It's your sexuality and creativity. Your solar plex chakra is your upper abdomen, confidence. Your heart chakra is the center of your chest, your heart center, which is love. Your throat chakra is your throat area, communication. Your third eye chakra is between your eyebrows, mind's eye, your intuition. And your crown chakra is the top of your head, awareness and intelligence. So Shayna also is, not only is she a Reiki master, she's also a ascension guide, and she discovers past lives. And past lives are all about reincarnation, which is the death of the soul. You're born again into another body, and if you consider or believe you have lived before. So some signs of reincarnation would be you have dreams of another life. Your intuition might tell you a deja vu. Now, she is also going to share with us some sound healing, a demonstration. Hopefully this all goes well. And that is about blocking, it's unblocking your, it's breaking up blocked energies, retuning cells, and balancing your chakras, connect to self. So let's see if I can bring her on, because this technology tonight is driving me crazy. Let's see what happens. Shayna, are you there?
Hi, yes. Hello.
Yay.
Hello. How are you? Good evening. Or you're in Texas, so it might still be, maybe, is it still daylight there? It probably is, huh?
No, sun just went down. It's pretty dark.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah. Well, thank you for having me.
Thank you for joining us, Shayna. I gave a little input before you came on. about being a Reiki master. I shared a little bit about chakras for anybody out there who doesn't know about what that is, and also that you are a ascension guide, and you something about past lives.
So let's hear, get into it a little bit. Let's hear a little bit of your background from you, and what your aspects and perceptions are around this. I'd love to hear it.
I've been a Reiki master for about 9 or 10 years, and then working mostly with friends and family. And then about 3 or 4 years ago, it came through to work with more. The energies are coming in stronger, and to add in sound healing, and it all just kind of flows together. Both are flooding the body with high vibrations, assisting with low vibrations clearing out. So they work beautifully together, and different people usually have a preference with, they either like more Reiki or more sound healing or just sound healing or just Reiki. So everyone has their own preference, but they're both magical and wonderful, and I love helping. So
No, that's awesome. So I'm curious, was there some type of awakening that occurred with you in your life, or is this something you've experienced and like working with the energies, feeling the energies from a young child perspective, and you've grown with it? Or was there some type of awakening and experience that triggered it and brought you into it?
Yeah, I've always been sensitive, but I didn't know anything about energy or energy transfer or any of that. And then I became an esthetician 15 years ago and started noticing I was feeling what my clients were feeling, just feeling everything and exhausted, and after my shift, and I was like, this isn't right. What is happening to me? And so then I started learning about energy and boundaries, and trying to clear my field and all of that. And then, so shortly after that, probably within a few years after that, I had my daughter, and she had a fairly difficult infancy, and that, I don't know if it was the sleep deprivation or what, but just had a huge awakening for me, and like going, I've always been a spiritual person, but going like just 100 miles an hour into everything I could learn about, and that's how I found Reiki, and just doing my own healing as much as I can, and it's just been part of the journey.
No, that's awesome. And what would you say would have been like the biggest shift that you've seen occur in your own life, prior to you working the energy to now post understanding and using this energy to your highest and best well-being?
The biggest shift. Well, absolutely working regularly with a mentor, and just really focusing, as much as possible on my own healing. It just has allowed everything to come through so much stronger, so much better, so much clearer. Whether it's the energy, whether it's clarity on my mission and how I'm here to help, how that has shifted, and being able to go with the flow, and deal with all of the crazy energies coming in. That was hands down the most transformative. And I would get weekly sessions, and it would help with clearing things that would come up faster, whether it was emotionally or physically, so that I could just keep progressing and not get stuck.
That's awesome.
Yeah, like I was doing on my own, which is, normal. So
that really resonates with me. That resonates with me because what you just said, it's like when you don't know almost when this is happening, how to handle it, because you haven't handled it before.
Right.
But you're at the same time ahead of everyone else, because I know that you're constantly working. You're constantly creating. You have so many clients. You have this empowerment course I'm so impressed with. You are an ascension guide, but you are also ascending at the same time. And from what I hear, there's like, what is it? We're going to 12 dimensions. Are you in the 5th dimension now, Shayna? Where are you?
Well, I'm sure we're still oscillating, right? But up through like 5, sometimes 7, yeah. So I work on it all the time so that we can.
Yeah, and it's amazing,
you know?
amazing shift, and I think that's the one thing that's what I love your explanation, you talking about it, and I think what this whole episode kind of encompasses is people need to understand this is a journey, you know, and this is a skill that we can develop, we can practice it, we can learn it, we can harness it, and it can help us to grow leaps and bounds, and it's just, you know, it's not like an overnight thing, it's a process. Process that we awaken to and go through. Wouldn't you say that's kind of what it sums it up?
Absolutely, and it's such a spiral. You know, we heal and clear, but there's still more. I mean, I had a huge eye-opening stuff that came through me yesterday that just blew me away, and luckily after many years have lots of good tools so that I'm able to work with it and clear it and heal and do lots of self-love and meditation and everything so that I could clear it a lot faster than I would have been able to years ago. But, you know, things still come up, and the higher we go, the deeper we have to go within and heal so that we can have that balance. You know, we're light and dark, up and down, right? We can't go
absolutely
all the way up without delving in and clearing the depths.
Yeah, and I think that's such a big part that people don't understand. You know, we hear so much about the love and light, but truly, I think the most magnificent healers have gone through such depths of darkness, and, you know, they've gone through the fire, and they've experienced it, and they've learned from it, they've grown from it, and they've figured out how to morph it into something beautiful. Even the most tragic events, you know,
Absolutely.
You can use those to learn and grow.
Absolutely. I mean, everything is, quote unquote, an opportunity for learning, right?
Absolutely.
However we choose to use it.
Absolutely. That's fantastic. You know, that's great. So I'm very excited being a musician myself.
Yeah.
Hearing a little bit about your sound healing and you utilizing the now it's the crystal bowls that you utilize, or can you tell us a little bit about your sound healing?
Oh, I've got all kinds of things. I don't have time to play them all tonight, I don't think, but I've got a big, beautiful gong, a set of 432 hertz crystal quartz bowls,
Excellent.
set of Tibetan bowls, drum, and then a 528 hertz bowl and crystal pyramid and some chimes and all kinds of goodies.
And that's awesome, and that's really cool. You have the 432 hertz crystal bowl. I don't know if a lot of people know this, and just for our audience, in ancient times, music was at a different frequency. You know, I believe it was right around 1936 to 1940. There was like an American Standardized Association for Music, and they wanted to shift the pitch. So they did what I believe they made A above middle C. They tuned it to 440 hertz.
Right.
And the interesting thing, you know, when we talk about natural frequencies and the frequency of the earth and all these different aspects of sound healing, you know, like I wonder, you know, what was the rationale behind this? They say it was to coordinate different orchestras and instruments around the world, so when they were playing together, musicians traveled. But, you know,
that's probably more of a Mary Amy question, actually.
Yeah, you know, were they? Not that we want to get into conspiracy theories, but you gotta wonder. You gotta wonder. And I can tell you, being a musician, when you hear something at 432 hertz versus 440 hertz, there really is a major difference of how it affects the body. Truly, the 432 hertz gives you a balance. It gives you a sound healing experience that you do not get in the 440 register.
Right. At 432, it's literally a miracle tone of nature where vibration, energy, and matter are all in perfect balance. So there's no pain, there's no illness, there's no disease. Everything is in harmony. And going a little bit above or a little bit below is essentially creating distortion. So, yeah 432 makes a big difference.
Oh, are you going to be playing that tonight for us, or what? Are we going to hear that?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm excited. And I hope our listeners are excited because it's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
For me, I refer to Shayna about healing, because she essentially is 1,000,000% an angel that heals. What she does is like no one else, and it's because she wholly does it. She's committed to it. She's disciplined, but she's open, free, and loving. And I think that that comes through when she's doing her work, with whatever part of the work she does. If she's working with a client, if she's doing these sound healing baths, and you don't give up, Shayna. I know we all are going through, and I'm speaking like I'm speaking for everyone, but I know we are all going through these transitioning, this transmuting, this change, because more light is coming onto the earth. We're growing and we're learning and we're kind of connecting to each other. And when we're connecting, it's giving us power, but it's also we have to adjust ourselves and we have to alter how we're doing things. And you keep going. And so I want to tell you thank you, thank you, thank you. I have so much gratitude that you're here and you're patient, because sometimes it gets complicated doing these kinds of things like we are tonight, where I got off and on, and thank you. So thank you for doing this tonight, and thank you for sharing all of your work with humanity, and we are open to it. So whatever you would like to tell us about your work, and then you tell us and go on to doing a demonstration, we're all here for you.
Well, thank you, Amy, for seeing me and acknowledging all of that. It is a lot of work, and we do it because we love it, right? We feel in our heart that we have to. We're here to help, and that's what keeps us going.
Well, you're very graceful the way you do it, and you have so much peace within you, and it's obvious. And we're lucky. We are so lucky that you are here and you're existing at this time, because the world needs beings of light like you.
And it's interesting because that's what I pick up. Just like Mary, Amy, and myself, we have that calling. No matter what else we're doing, no matter what other careers we've been involved in, what other work history, whatever it is, we're always drawn back to this. We're always drawn back to this calling that our soul has for us. And you absolutely have that same calling. I mean, I can hear it in you. I mean, the energy that's coming from you is phenomenal. It's fantastic. And I can just sense that you have that same calling. So regardless of anything else you've been doing, you're always going to be pulled back to this, because you can see the healing and the power that's within you that can transcend, and how many people you can help with this. Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you.
So are we gonna hear?
Yeah, would you like to do a demonstration for us?
Besides me talk?
No, we like hearing you talk, Shayna.
Well, yeah, I can play if y'all are ready.
Yeah, is there like a little introduction, or should we prep the audience? Anything they should prepare themselves for to hear this and listen, and the listening experience?
Just get comfortable. The more comfortable you are, the better you receive. All right. Take a nice big deep inhale and exhale. With your next exhale, imagine roots going all the way down to the crystalline core of the earth. Wrapping up in Gaia's crystalline core, and asking the earth to hold you. With your next inhale, breathe up earth energy, prana, up through the roots. Bring it all the way up through your feet and legs. Bring it up your spine to your crown. And with the next exhale, let it expand out, filling With your next exhale, imagine branches extending up from your crown, all the way up to Source. And asking Source to fill you up. So drawing down from Source, pure Source energy, through the crown, filling up your spine, down your legs and feet. And with the next exhale, with that pure Source energy, expand out, filling all your cells and all your bodies. Continue breathing up from the earth and down from Source, filling up, expanding it out, letting it fill up all your cells and all your bodies. Take a few breaths. And come on up whenever you're ready. Thank you.
Shayna, that was beautiful. That was amazing how the sound healing and the frequencies just start to take over our body. I was on a little journey. I was floating down a river. Felt like I was going back to a past life with, my native Indian tribe. That was pretty amazing.
It absolutely is a journey every time. It's so cool. That's awesome.
I felt all of this vibration in my limbs, and it was almost like anything that was negative or, I guess, hurting my cells, I felt like it was conquering them. It was improving me. It was amazing.
Saying we love you too.
No, that was awesome. And the cool thing for me is I actually have my studio headphones on right now, so like when you hit certain frequencies, they just resonated through my whole body. I can only imagine people that are listening to this through their computer, their whole room may have been vibrating.
Yeah,
I know my whole body was. Yeah, that was fantastic.
Even through the equipment, you can feel the vibrations for sure, whether it's in person or virtual. Like, it works.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I can vouch for that for sure. That was great.
Yeah.
Now, do you find when you're taking people through these sound healing experiences, this sound journey, that I know we didn't really get into a lot of this, but I know something we were going to talk about was like past lives. I really felt like my psychic and my mediumship awareness, you know, it was just naturally raising. It was naturally opening, and I had a lot of stuff. You know, I literally had to just stay focused on the music because I wanted to hear that, and I didn't want to go into this transcendental, you know, state, obviously trying to do the radio show, but it definitely opens up, you know, our whole system. It tunes us in, and, you know, that was fantastic.
Yeah, and the more you're open to receive, the more you do receive. And one thing that I don't know if I touched on before, but is I feel is important is both Reiki and sound healing, the effects are cumulative. So you're just, you know, with each session you receive, you're vibrating higher, receiving more, healing deeper. It's just more and more. It's amazing.
So I think what that means is we're going to actually have to have you back on, and we'll have to put into the show somewhere a sound healing journey that we take our whole audience on.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that idea. I have a question, Shayna.
Yeah.
If I go back, because I did tune in and I did focus. However, I'm so distracted because I have so much going on my end.
Right. Sure.
If I was to go back and re-listen to this section of you playing these different pieces, every time I listen to it, do you think that it would raise my vibration? Let's say I did this every day and listen. Yes, right?
Absolutely.
What kind of effect?
And I've got, like, on YouTube some recordings of sound baths. You know, my clients say they listen to them every night, every other night, or when they're meditating, and it helps them so much. And I can tell when they come in that, you know, whether they realize it or not, they're doing healing work and they're vibrating higher. So yeah, every time it's beneficial. Absolutely.
Yeah, that is awesome.
What can you just tell me what instruments were you playing during that sound healing bath?
Yeah, of course. At first it was the drums, obviously. And then I did the 432 hertz crystal bowls, all of those. And those really tune in with the chakras. And the last bowl I did was a 528 hertz bowl, so even higher vibration. And that one works with the sacred geometry of spheres and spirals, so the cellular DNA rejuvenation. And then at the end, the chimes were Canary chimes, which is the shell of a canary nut from South America, but they sound like water.
I love that. That's my favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that too. That definitely resonated with me. I like the whole experience was great. It was, you know, it was phenomenal.
Good. I'm so glad.
So Michael, since you're always tuned in 24/7, are you receiving anything for Shayna? Anything going on around Shayna?
Anything going around Shayna? No, I mean, I just from connecting and hearing your voice, there's just like you have a pure, beautiful energy. I think that energy will enable you to help many people heal. I think your sound healing, you know, there's something very big that you have going on there, you know, and I think you're only hitting, like, you. I'm going to say the tip of the iceberg. You know, there's so much that you have to offer, and there's so much that can grow into. I mean, it's phenomenal. Literally, the funny thing is, like, what was coming to me around this, you know, being a musician, I think you can if you haven't already, and I know you said you have YouTube videos, but literally putting out, you know, albums of music, hours of this, and, you know, like streaming it, having it, you know, for sale. I mean, like a lot can be done with this. I think a lot of healing can come through this. I think your energy in and of itself transcends through your instruments. So I feel the presence of your energy in what you're playing. I sense the healing. I sense, the energy that transcends through you. I feel the healing in that. So, I think anyone can benefit from that. And I just think you have a lot to offer. I think you're only at the very beginning stages of what's to come for you.
Oh, thank you so much.
He's accurate. I agree with you. I agree with him. That's what I've always sensed. I always tune back to Shayna, because you have so many, you have so much to offer. And I suggest anyone that's interested in healing empowerment, Reiki, sound healing, you can find Shayna at www.burusha.com. And Shayna, share with everyone your services, any of your social media.
Yeah, absolutely. The website is burusha.com, and there's Reiki, private sound baths, group sound baths, and the Reiki and sound healing you can do virtual. The effects are the same. You feel them. I'm connecting with your higher self, and every time I do a virtual session, the person says how much they feel it, and so it transcends everything. So Reiki, sound healing. There's the healing empowerment course, which we go through and work through the 8 chakras, work on archetypes, do a little past life thing just to find anything that's blocking to move through. And that's really powerful because any blockage in any of the chakras is going to just throw everything off. So we all have to, continuously work through and clear all of those. So it just gives you tools to continue to do that. There's Reiki training and all kinds of goodies. There's also Ayurvedic organic skincare that I make, after being an esthetician for so long. And so all kinds of goodies. And the sound baths, the meditations, the recorded ones are there as well.
That's awesome. And one thing I want to put out there to any of our listeners, anyone that's trying to tap into their psychic energy, their mediumship abilities, doing this, listening to this type of sound healing, these type of frequencies, can definitely open the pathway. Like Wendy, who we were speaking to earlier, who had a lot of apprehension about connecting and utilizing these natural abilities. And some people, because of that, they block it or they kind of tune it out. But if you're having trouble focusing and getting into that internal space, right here is the avenue. This is what can put you into that mindset and open that awareness. Absolutely. So that's what I would say is if you're out there listening, go to I'm sorry, could you say your YouTube page again? What is a YouTube page?
Oh, the YouTube is Shayna Blackmar.
Oh, so it's just your name, Shayna Blackmar. So go to Shayna Blackmar and tune into this sound healing, and I guarantee you'll start getting psychic ability awareness. You'll start tuning into that, and it will just grow and transcend. The more you tune in and listen to this sound healing, it really will open the pathway.
It will change you.
Open up with Reiki too, and I incorporate the sound healing with that, and it's nice for them to start when they're ready for that to start flowing, and they're in a safe environment, and so they're not scared of it, because it's nothing to be scared of, right?
Absolutely, and that's like last night. I had a large event here at the Jersey Shore, and we opened that event up with Reiki sessions, and people go from their Reiki session, into a reading gallery. And it's just phenomenal how working with that energy, opens and tunes people in. And when people are open and receptive, for me as a medium and any readers that are working, with their clients, it just makes everything flow and it makes the connection that much more powerful.
Absolutely.
I sense that it touches you within your spirit. And whether you realize it or not, it's resonating within you, and you might not understand because it's very complex at first. And I believe it opens up a gateway, a doorway within you, just like meditation does. Sound healing does exactly the same thing. And it brings more peace to your soul. And I think it actually might help you to forgive parts of you that you haven't before.
Absolutely. That's beautiful.
So, Shayna, one thing I would just like to say is if you ever want to travel out to the East Coast, I think it would be amazing to have a live sound healing mediumship event.
Yeah.
But maybe on the flip side, if you can't get out to the East Coast, maybe in the future we can plan something where we have you on and we open with the sound healing and we go into a mediumship gallery, and I think that would be fantastic.
Yeah, that sounds great.
I love that idea. Good idea. Okay, well, thank you so much, Shayna. Everyone, I suggest starting your day maybe or ending your day listening to this sound healing that Shayna did for us, and also looking at her website. And thank you very much, Shayna. We are so grateful you were here. And
thank you.
Be well.
Yes, Shayna, thank you so much for sharing your gifts with us and our audience. Really appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Shayna. We love you.
Love you too.
Talk soon.
Okay.
Okay. Bye.
What do you think, Mary Amy? We do a sound healing into mediumship event. I think that's going to be on the horizon. I think that is.
I think there's a lot of events on the horizon. You have big ideas like I do. You fill in the gaps for me. I'm fumbling over here, and you're coming through for me loud and clear. And
it's all that psychic energy. It's all that that energy transcending in your environment. You're at a high frequency right now.
Is that what's going on here? I don't know what's happening on my end.
I think
I'm
so.
in New York. I don't know what's going on in New York here. Okay, we have time because we've already hit 1.5. We're at 90 minutes, but we extended the time a bit, and I do have someone that was holding. Now, I can't speak to her because I'm connected through my phone, but let's see if he or she is still there, or did
What's
they
her
already
name?
gone? No, I don't know. You know what?
Okay.
We're just going to grab somebody, and we're going to bring them through. I'm just going to pick someone randomly here, and let's see who's been holding the longest. This person has, so we are going to go through with them. We're going to connect to them. Here we go.
Hello, hello. Can you tell us
Hello.
who is here with us?
Who's here? Hello, you there? Wait, hold on. Let's see. Hello. Okay, wait. Let me just. Are you there?
Hello.
Hello. Can
Hi.
you tell us your name?
My name?
Yes, your name.
Candy.
Hello, Candy. How are you?
Good, very good. How are you, Michael?
I think I may know this caller. I think this caller may have a blood relationship to me.
I think you're right, yeah.
That's funny. Mary
Mary
Amy's phone system and her internet connection and everything went down, so she had to go onto her phone, and she randomly picked someone, so I think Spirit led her to putting you through. So everyone, the audience, so who we have on the line, this is actually my mom calling in. How cool is that?
Oh, my goodness. Hi, Candy. It's nice to meet you.
Hi, how are you?
so what, what would be interesting?
I wanted to tell you one thing. You had your psychic abilities at 2 years old.
Was it? So why don't you share a little bit? I think the audience may find it fascinating hearing your perspective.
We moved into this house when you were 3.
Yeah, so do you remember my first experience with the man in the basement, and I think it freaked everyone out in Lawrence Harbor when we were living by the train track?
Yes.
Why don't you know what would be great? Why don't you just just in a couple minutes, why don't you share that story with our audience and give them a little bit of your perspective on me as a young medium, not knowing I was a medium.
No, I kind of thought you were nuts. Talking to the man downstairs.
That's funny.
You
That's
were
funny.
like about 2.5, because it was before we moved in here. You were about 2.5, and, you know, I kind of think I knew something. It was like you were like your grandmother.
And that's my grandmother, Bam. She was very what they call a charismatic Catholic. She was very big into the saints, very big into the angels. If she lost something, dear Saint Anthony, something's lost and can't be found.
I say that too, and I find it every time.
Yeah. So it was pretty amazing, So I have to say I was blessed to be in a family that didn't institutionalize me, didn't think I was crazy, and just let me go with it. And so for all our listeners out there that have small children that may be talking to an invisible friend, well, that invisible friend might be the spirit Jerome. So don't discredit it, and don't institutionalize them or get them therapy. Really, really take a step back, see what's going on, and you may have, a psychic or a medium born into your family. And children are way more tuned into that. The life experiences and everything that occurs later in life, it almost pulls us from that energy, and it clouds us a little bit. So children that can stay in that awareness, and they can understand and learn that this isn't something to be afraid of, this isn't something to be feared. I think those can be some of the most powerful mediums we see in the future. So that is pretty wild.
I don't know. Maybe we did scare you. You never talked about them before again.
And I believe, Michael,
I wanted to ask you one question.
Okay. What's the question?
My dogs, I have 3 dogs.
Okay.
And every night, this is without fail for the past probably 6 months, they start barking at something in the hallway, and there's nothing there.
Well, so what we need to understand, and this is for everybody out there that has pets. So pets can see and hear in different frequency realms and different audible and visual realms that the human eyes and the human ears can't pick up. When we look at like human hearing, it's 20 hertz to 20 kilohertz. Dogs' hearing expands way beyond that, but also their visual experience is much different than ours. Dogs can see in many different light spectrums. So areas that our natural vision can't pick up, think of like infrared. Think of like infrared or night goggles that the military uses. Dogs have this additional parameter where they can see things that we cannot. I'm a firm believer that our animals can absolutely pick up the presence of loved ones that may be deceased, other, energies that are around us. And so just to share with my audience, over the last several years, we've had a lot of family pass. We've dealt with a lot of loss. We've had a lot of people. My father had passed. I've had uncles pass. There's been quite a few people. Absolutely, spirit carries on. The continuity of love and the soul continue on beyond the body. Absolutely, 100%. I can tell you at this point, it is scientifically proven, even though it all hasn't come out yet. With me being a scientific research medium, I can tell you in the lab, they are studying this, they're observing it, and it's proven. It absolutely is proven. If we look into quantum physics, we look into all these new aspects that they're studying in science and all these various fields, they know the soul does not die. Our consciousness, our awareness transcends this physical existence. Just like we were speaking about earlier, we're a spiritual being having a human existence, and those words couldn't be more true. They are exactly what it is. Animals will pick up on.
I believe
the
it.
spirit realm.
I believe it, but I believe they're seeing something every night.
They are. So what I would say to you would be, my family is very, very tuned in. We're very, even though my mom, doesn't say she's a psychic or anything, whether it's motherly instinct or just a really good intuition, I could say you can probably sit and connect. If you want to connect with my father, you want to connect with, one of our family members, sit, connect, speak to them as if they're with you, whoever it may be, And what I say is there's something called psychometry. Energy gets imprinted on objects. So our loved one's spirit, if they left behind a piece of clothing, a piece of jewelry, whatever it may be, sit with that item, focus in on their voice, focus in on hearing it internally, sense them, envision them in your mind's eye of who it is, and ask them, make your presence known tonight. And when you sit and ask, see if later on that evening or within a certain time frame after you do, if they start barking. I would say you probably have some of our family from the beyond coming to visit you in a good way.
Yeah, well, I had a dream of your father a couple of months ago, about 3 months ago. And I woke up, and he was standing at the bottom of our bed. You know what my bedroom looks like. And he said, "Oh, I just came to hug you. I forgot to hug you before I left." And then he was gone.
No, that was him. And so the funny thing is, Mary Amy and I talk about this all the time. We talk about, she has a dream journal. I talk about the dream state. When we're in that state, and I spoke about it very quickly earlier, they've done studies and they say 9 hertz is the sweet spot. When mediums are under scientific scrutiny, we're in a lab, we're being studied under, MRI, EEG, whatever it may be, they're saying in that realm, 8 to 10 hertz, 9 hertz is being the sweet spot. That is our dreamlike state. That is when the right brain shuts down. So our rationale, our reasoning, our all the priorities, the to-do list, the thinking mind, the analytical mind quiets down, and it allows the left hemisphere to open. And then almost when we're in that state, it's almost like a hemisync happens. And there's this joined union at that 9 hertz frequency where spirit can speak to us. They can connect to us. For most people, the easiest first way to do that is in a dreamlike state. So know that for you, Mom, know that if Dad is coming to you, he's connecting to you. He absolutely
just
is.
That once, though, just that once.
Yeah, but you know what? You know what? Sit with that. And I know, for meditating and, thinking about those things, may be difficult, but you have to do whatever you can to quiet the mind down, or put on listen to some music that was very special to you and him, and I know there's a lot of music out there. I know I heard a lot of it growing up, and just connect to his energy, feel his energy, and I guarantee he'll start giving you signs, and I guarantee the dogs are going to go wild, probably in more ways than one. And I would say know that was him connecting to you, speaking to you, and giving you a message, knowing, letting you know that he's okay. He's in a better place. He's healed. He's not dealing with physical pain or trauma or any of the things that he went through towards the end.
Pain.
Yeah, I mean, so, and not to get into all our family history and everything behind it, but, he did have a lot of health problems to the end. And, and there was a lot that went on in his body that he's released from that now. And I think he, that's his way of letting you know. But just know, I would say set an intention. So before you go to bed, speak to him. Come to me in my dream, and if you still can't do it initially, or if it's very random, keep focusing in on it. Keep doing it. Keep trying. And I think you'll start getting signs, and you'll start getting more of an awareness that he's present and he's around and he's watching over you and helping, guide the process and procedures and everything that's around you and everything you're going through.
I would love
just
to
to say, my mom went through a serious health scare. She had major heart surgery several months back. She made it through, and I truly believe you had divine guidance of our loving, guides and the angels and, our family members that have passed on in spirit. They were watching over and they were guiding and they were getting you through that because, it was a pretty wild surgery, and I'm sure there was a high probability that it may not have went as well as it did. So I think there was divine intervention around that, and I'm sure he was part of that.
Yeah. I also would love to speak to Uncle Bill. That was the most
that was tough. So, and you know what we could do? Because I don't want everyone in the audience going, oh, man, his mom is taking up all the time. And, so what we could do, we can sit one day and we could, I know you have a hard time, getting out of the house and getting around and, with everything after the heart surgery. So we can connect. I could tell you, Uncle Bill he's in a good place, and he's not suffering, and his passing was quick. I don't believe he suffered, and I believe no, and I believe he's in a good place, and I believe he's also watching over you. And I do believe, he, like our family structure over there on the other side, I believe they've unified. I believe, even though some of our family members in the physical here and in the world were separated, I believe they were joined and healed and connected in the spiritual realm, in the world beyond. I truly believe that.
Very good. It was nice talking to you.
It was.
Thanks. It was nice to meet you. It's Mary here.
Nice to meet you too, Mary.
I would just wanted to say I'm sorry to hear about your husband and sorry to hear about your father, Michael. And you seem like a very brave hero, that you got through everything that you have, and you have a lot of strength within you, and you must have been a fabulous nurturer, because Michael is such a sweet person and kind, and and it comes through. So I know that came from you and how you were to him. So thank you so much for giving the world Michael, and I'm glad that I actually hit button and it was you. I didn't know. I mean, I'm just looking at, there's just a bunch of numbers here. So thank you for joining us tonight.
Oh, I'm glad to be here. Have a great night.
I'm glad you're listening. Glad you're listening in.
Thank
you. It was last week, too. Last week, too.
Absolutely. And I'm sure you're going to be listening next week also.
Okay. Take care.
All right. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
So a funny story about my family and my youth.
Okay, that is crazy.
Isn't that crazy? Spirit guided you to.
There was 17 numbers here, and I just
what are the
picked
chances?
her.
Spirit works in mysterious ways. That's so funny.
A
funny story.
I thought you were going to. Okay, tell me.
No, is my parents went, so that the house that I first started connecting the spirit in, we were talking, it's a little town in New Jersey called Lawrence Harbor. Exit 120 off the Parkway, if anyone's familiar with the the New Jersey Parkway, Garden State Parkway. And they actually moved from that house. So much stuff started happening around me and in that house. They moved down closer to the shore, and in an area, Tom's River, if anyone's familiar with the New Jersey area. And they actually had to get a virgin piece of property that nothing was built on, and it was just a funny process. Well, I was so young, I don't know, the exact process, but I know they were freaked out enough to move and to come down to the Jersey Shore. So that's just a little interesting tidbit about my life.
Well, I have to say, though, it was really a pleasure hearing from her, and also it's like another side to you. And it was just meant to be. I believe it was meant to be. But before we get on to we're going to end the show in a few minutes, and we're going to talk about the upcoming. Can we just grab one more caller?
Yeah, let's get one caller, and then we'll have a lot of time next week. So just so everyone knows, we'll talk about it later in the show. Let's bring that caller through, and let's get some good.
Okay, one more caller. Let's see who we have here. Hello.
Hello?
Hello, how are you?
Hi,
can you give us
this
your
is
name?
Mary and Michael.
Hi, my name is Kevin.
Hey, Kevin, just out of curiosity, you're not related to either of us, are you?
No.
We're just kidding. We just had a very interesting call on the last call.
No, I heard that. No, I've met Mary before.
So what's the question you have there for us?
Well, I lost my father about 4 or 5 years ago, and I have my mother here now, so I'm going to keep her in tune of what I'm talking about. But we always wonder, how he's doing and stuff like that.
Okay. So the process, the aspects of mediumship. I mean, I could try, focusing in on his energy. From it's tough for me when I haven't gone through the processes. But the interesting thing, so immediately when I'm connecting to your voice, I don't know if there is a connection to like baseball or sports are around that. And I don't know if that was something strong connection between you and him or like a sport connection. But I don't know why I'm just.
He was a big baseball player.
Okay, because immediately when I'm connecting to your voice, and thank you for that confirmation, I'm getting a lot of baseball symbolism, and I'm actually seeing an old baseball cap. Now, I don't know if I'm being pulled to the East Coast, so I don't know why, but I'm like I focus in on it. I don't know if this is my energy of like the Boston Red Sox, New York Yankees like conflict. So I don't know if he was into either of those teams.
Oh, yeah, no, he was a big Red Sox fan, but it's funny because his mascot was him wearing an old baseball cap.
Excellent.
Cap,
thank you for that confirmation. So I would say his energy is coming through with us.
He's wearing an old red baseball cap down at the boatyard in his mascot.
Oh, that's so wonderful. Thank you for that confirmation because that's what I'm picking up, the energy. And I feel like spirit, I do believe that we are connecting to his spirit, and he was showing me that baseball cap. And I was sensing, that's why I had to say the Yankees, Red Sox connection, because I knew it wasn't the Yankees, because I know, the Yankees are our area, but I was picking up the Red Sox, so that's awesome. Let's see. So prominently, I don't know if August is a prominent month of a birthday, an anniversary, but for some reason I'm also hearing the August, so I don't know if there's any specifics around that month, or there's going to be some big news coming into the family around August of 24, but I just sense August as a prominent month around the family.
Yeah, that's usually the end of the summer, so my mom stopped going to the beach, which is her favorite place, and was my father's favorite place. So, but no, I'm
okay. So August. So I don't know if your mom. So I'm sensing a little more peace in you than in your mom's energy. There may be not that, we always deal with grief. Grief is something that, I say everyone goes through their own processes around grief, but I feel like for your mom, I feel like it's important for her to know she can connect to his energy. Just like, I'm not fully tuned in and open, but you can see how it works. They'll imprint us with images, with visions, with numbers, with names, and he was showing me the baseball cap as being an integral part, the connection that you have to him. That connection that I have, and just starting to pick that up, and that, that Red Sox, that Boston connection to that, I mean, they're very evidential, specific pieces of information. I don't know anything about you. We didn't even know your name, who you were, who was calling. So our listeners know, this is completely me connecting to the energy around you. That's how it starts. I think it's very important for your mom to say what I said to my own mom. She was the previous caller, and Amy just randomly picked her. When we're dealing with that grief and that pain, it's very important that we sit with, if we have an item of our deceased loved one, if we could sit with that baseball cap, and I feel like you still have that, or your mom has that baseball cap, I feel his energy is going to be imprinted on that, or a ring, a piece of jewelry, something that his energy would be imprinted on because he was very connected to it. And that will help open up that connection. Sit with his energy, sit with that item that you can connect on what they call psychometry, and that energetic level will start opening up an awareness. And she can think about him, think about his voice, think about his smells, sit with a picture, focus in on that. And don't discredit any information that's coming through to you. So whether you start getting a vision, a name, just feeling his presence, that's the first step of empowering you to connect with your loved ones. And that's part of what I truly believe I'm here to do. I'm here to help people empower themselves to be able to connect with their loved ones in spirit. It truly could be the most healing thing you can do. And it's something that we all have the abilities to do. It's just a process, and it's a skill we have to develop. But by those little pieces of information that I just brought through, I can assure you he's around you. Otherwise, I wouldn't have seen the baseball cap that had a very specific connection and the Boston Red Sox. And
I'm
just know his
around.
Yeah, his energy is around you for him to give me those pieces of information. And, you're more than welcome to reach out to me, Eye of the Spirits with Michael Edley on Facebook, or michaeledley.com. I do appointments, by Zoom, by, FaceTime, over the phone, whatever it may be. And we can absolutely set up an appointment, and I'm sure we can bring his energy through if it was coming through that clearly with very minimal preparation on my end.
Definitely. Well, thank you.
Yeah,
I
thank
just
you so
want
much.
to say thank you so much for hanging on, because I know that you were hanging on for a very long time, and anyone out there who's also been has called in, and I appreciate you waiting and trying to get a chance. And, you know, if not this week, try another week. But thank you so much for joining us, Kevin. And you can reach Michael at his website, www.michaeledley.com. And I hope you have a wonderful evening.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Okay, be well. Bye. Wow. So we've had some really exciting, I guess you could say, surprises tonight. And what I learned tonight, Michael, is I can't fight it. I have to go with the flow. And I'm learning that in my life, because tonight there was a lot of twists and turns on my end. And I appreciate you guiding us and giving us so much insight tonight. And it was a pleasure hearing from your mom and you sharing so much about yourself to our listeners and everyone out there. Thank you for joining us. I'm not going to have time to do a visualization. We'll do one next week. Now, let's just mention what's coming up, because we're going to go in a minute. We're going to be cut off. We have some upcoming very exciting guests. Now, next week, we have the next one, February 1st, it's all call-in. So we'll be doing a topic. We haven't discovered what it is yet. We'll discuss that. And it's going to be Thursday, February 1st at 6:30. Now, beyond that, we have a guest, Laura Fay. I don't know if anyone's ever heard of her. She's a well-known astrologist, psychic, Palladian oracle. And she has a very huge following on the social media, on Facebook and Instagram, and that's going to be Thursday, February 8th. This is going to be up and coming, and you'll see these up-and-coming episodes connected to our profile. That's going to be Thursday, February 8th at 6:30. We're sticking with the 6:30 because that seems to be the best time. We have then upcoming on February 16th, a Friday at 6:30, we have Debbie Solaris, and she's a galactic historian and extraterrestrial contactee and guide.
The cool thing about Debbie, not to cut you off, but any of you out there that watch the Gaia Network, well, you've probably seen her on there. She's been featured on the Gaia Network, and she's got some really interesting stories.
She is on there right now, yes, and you can find her on Instagram, and she has these solo interviews, and she speaks about all the different extraterrestrials, the Palladians, the Syrians, the Andromedans, the Arcturians, and the I think some of even the reptilians she speaks about. But you can catch all of those in February, the 1st, the 8th, and the 16th. And I am so happy we got on tonight. And is there any parting thoughts that you'd like to share before we go?
No, I would just say part of this process that we're all on together, part of this journey, is dealing with the uncertainty, the variables, and the different things that pop up, and that's part of it, is dealing with what comes at you, making the best of it, and you will always transcend whatever it is. You just have to, keep the faith. That's all I can say is keep the faith, and magnificent things will bless your life.
Well, I'm very grateful, and I'm blessed that you are here with me, and we are co-hosting Two Psychics, and I look forward to having more episodes. So the next one is going to be February 1st, and callers, that will be an opportunity to receive some kind of psychic reading. And tonight was lovely. We had Shayna Blackmar, and we spoke about healing humanity. So everyone, I hope you have a wonderful weekend and have a wonderful night.
Good night, everyone. Thanks for listening in.
Good night.